Do you really think you're safe from credit fraud? In the unlikely chance you have never been a victim of credit fraud, does credit fraud still affect you? Is credit fraud a major issue in this country, in the world? Want some tips to avoid being a victim of credit fraud? If you answer yes to any of the above, this video is right up your alley. Just how bad is it? In June of 2005, 3 credit fraud crooks conspired to download and sell individual credit reports to street criminals in the New York area for about $60 each. About 30,000 credit fraud consumers were affected in New York alone. According to authorities, bank accounts of victims were depleted. Add it all up, we're talking about big bucks here. We all know internet business is booming, but did you know that authorities tell us 1 in 50 online transactions are bogus? Do you think you might be affected in price hikes due to these business losses? Of course you are. The Department of Justice tells us that the average number of U.S. identity fraud victims annually is 11,571,900. That's millions, folks. The total financial loss attributed to identity theft in 2013 was $24,700,000,000. Again, to clarify, that's billions. How are you affected? Well, let's say you do not live in New York and you are not a business owner and you have never been a credit fraud victim. How does credit fraud affect you? First of all, consider the fact that your time may be coming, especially if you don't incorporate some of the tips I'm sharing in this video. Now that's a scary thought all by itself, but more than that, credit fraud exceeds $1 billion in purchasing power each year, and the business owner must make up those losses somewhere or close the doors. Not only has the business owner lost the profit of the sale, they have lost the merchandise itself, and that inventory has to be made up or take a loss. Since business owners are not in business to live with loss, it is the consumer who must ultimately make up this annual $1 billion in the form of higher prices. So doesn't it make sense for a consumer to heed some basic fraud consumer tips? Here are some tips to avoid being a victim and what to do if you are. There are some excellent resources on the web offering some great tips concerning credit and internet fraud. Some of the better ones are FTC, also at FTC there's a website, What to Do Right Away. Consumer Sentinel is the unique investigative cyber tool that provides members of the Consumer Sentinel network with access to millions of consumer complaints. Also FDIC. Now here are a few tips I have collected over the years. Telemarketing fraud scheme often begins when you receive a postcard or letter in the mail describing an appealing offer. To take advantage of the offer, you're told to call a 900 number which you pay for. Beware, your credit card is requested for verification. Do not provide your credit card number or even just its expiration if you are not making a purchase. If you have been built in a telemarketing scheme in which the U.S. mail was used, or if you know about a scheme that should be investigated, Inform your local postmaster or nearest postal inspector. Call 700-555-4141 and 1 plus the area code plus 700-4141 10 days after receiving a telephone solicitation for any long-distance services that you have rejected to ensure you have not been switched without your okay. These calls are free. Don't place bills in your mailbox with the flag up. Thieves can snatch the envelopes right out of the box and then after the pay to and amount lines. Pay attention to your billing cycles and contact creditors if bills don't arrive on time. It may mean that someone is intercepting your mail. Keep your Social Security card, birth certificate, and other identifying papers in a safe place, not in your wallet. Stash a list of your creditors' credit ID numbers along with phone numbers in case your credit cards are stolen. Check your credit report annually. Make sure no one can see you punch in your PIN or password at the ATM or retailer or your telephone card number at a payphone. Here's an investment adage. When is risk okay? When you're willing to stand at the top of a hill on a windy day with the investment amount in your hand and you're willing to let go of the money. And never forget, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Investment warning signs: balking at having an outside professional review the operation. Someone says invest now or lose the opportunity. Be on the lookout for someone trying just a little too hard to show glitter, such as large returns for a small investment. Some red flags include offers to share inside information or salespeople who use words without proof like guarantee, high return, limited offer, or safe as a CD. No financial investment is risk-free, and a high rate of return means greater risk. Report losses and fraud. Call the card issuer as soon as you realize your card has been lost or stolen. Many companies have toll-free numbers and a 24-hour service to deal with this. Once you report the loss or theft, the law says you have no additional responsibility for charges you didn't make. In any case, your liability for each card lost or stolen is $50. By the way, this does not apply to debit cards. If you suspect identity theft, 3 steps. 1. Ask one of the 3 credit reporting companies to put a fraud alert on your report. They must tell the other 2 companies, and an initial fraud alert can make it harder for an identity thief to open more accounts in your name. The alert stays on your account for 90 days, but you can renew it. Step 2. Order your credit report, which are free with a fraud alert. And 3. Submit an identity theft report, which gives you some important rights that can help you recover from the theft. To create one, file a complaint with the FTC and print your identity theft affidavit. Use that to file a police report and create your identity theft report. If you want to see more in the future, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, if you know of friends, family members, social, business, or church groups in need of financial education, do them and yourself a favor by telling them about Debt Buster Motivation. But at a minimum, subscribe to my channel And how about giving me a thumbs up?